Carolina Nadergraaf, you are Global Investment and Divestment Manager at Inca Centers. Thank you for joining us on BITV.
Thank you so much for having me here today.
Inca Centers announced earlier this week the acquisition in Paris of the Italie 2 and Italic shopping centers, as well as the Apollo office building in what will surely be one of the biggest deals of the year. But can you tell us more about this deal? What attracted you to these assets?
So I think that the list is really very, very long. But if we start sort of on a high level, macro level, we have really been wanting to enter Paris for a long time. We think it's a very, very strong real estate and retail market, hugely vibrant, came back very strongly after the pandemic. So I think that is sort of covered from sort of a macro point of view. If we zoom in more on a sort of micro level, we love the 13th arrondissement. It is really a place where people live. It's a dense catchment area. We have around 2 million people living within 15 minutes of Place d'Italie, which is where, the scheme is located. It's really a footfall, but also a transport hub, the third busiest metro station in Paris, with 3 metro lines. And next year there will be another one added. And as you know, on the Place d'Italie, which is really the heart of the 13th arrondissement, you have this dominant asset known as Italie 2, hugely visible for anyone coming by. And ultimately, we thought that the asset offered extremely strong historical performance track record. It has a long-standing history, is well loved by its community. Sorry, but more importantly, we really feel that we can add value. We as Inca Centers can come in, and we have plans with the asset, which we're excited to disclose as soon as we're ready to do so. But adding also the element of the Italic, the new extension, and then also the office space with Apollo. It plays in very much into our mixed use urban strategy, where we really want to bring in lots of different offers for our customers and the community to enjoy spending time within our meeting places. So again, I could go on for many, many hours on what attracted us to these assets, but ultimately the extreme strength of the location, the loved name and brand already now, and all the opportunities that we see where we can bring value going forward.
And you mentioned this, urban meeting place concept from Inca Centers. You have announced your intention for these three assets to be united in what will be France's first urban meeting place. I think you're 4th in the world, if I'm correct. Right. What does such a project entail? What is the concept behind this urban meeting place?
So I think that what's very important is I think that we have, of course, as many other players, we've moved from this sort of traditional notion of sole physical retail in traditional shopping centers to wanting to create life and urban meeting places for the many people. I think that what we do a bit differently is the fact that we really pride ourselves in being community-led. That means that we spend a lot of time engaging with lots of different people within the community to listen to the voices, what is it that you want this meeting place to entail? And we want to make sure that we shape vibrant, but also more importantly, a varied offer, which makes sure that we're constantly on the pulse of where retail needs to be today. But we always make sure that we're one step ahead, so that we can make sure that our assets have a long appeal to the many people of Paris. So this means that we really create places which offer many reasons to visit. With a scheme like this, it's of course the traditional retail, very exciting brands that we already have in the scheme with Zara, Carrefour, Uniqlo, etc., Sephora. But we want to strengthen this, bring in potentially more exciting new brands to this area of Paris. Then we want to build on the gastronomy, the services, amenities, We love the fact that the scheme already has a cultural element to it, with the Troisième Art and the theater. This is not, you know, standard of what you have in every asset every day. We love the cultural dimension that this brings. And we're really excited about the office redevelopment that we will be completing, which will have lots of different office usages, but also very excitingly will host a rooftop bar and restaurant for the many to visit. So all of this is really to say we want to combine lots of different offers, listening to the community within one asset.
And you mentioned a new brand coming to the asset, to the shopping center. Obviously, yesterday news came out that IKEA was thinking about moving its IKEA Paris Madeleine inside Italie 2. Is that something that is part of this overall project? Can you tell us a little bit about that?
So, of course, as you know, when you know a bit about Ingka centers, we assist in sort of physical expansion for IKEA. All of our meeting places are anchored by an IKEA. And also in this case, our intention is very much to bring a strong IKEA presence into Italie 2. And we are working closely with IKEA France on those plans. But unfortunately, we cannot disclose more details around this today.
Okay, no problem. Speaking of a roadmap, you mentioned refurbishment project in the Apollo office, in the office building. You mentioned developing the shopping centers. What do you see as the roadmap for Ingka centers in this project? And maybe more closely, how do you see France playing into your investment strategy going forward?
So, I mean, France and especially Paris, right? It's such a dynamic retail market. And as I mentioned, we've seen such a strong bounce back after the pandemic. And we really believe that with the acquisition of this asset, it really brings such exciting opportunities for us, for the community, which we want to service, but also for our leasing partners. And we really want to build in France on the long-standing performance track record of Italie 2. You know, the people that we bought this from have done a tremendous job to date. The asset is very strong. And we are just excited to really invest a lot of time and resources to build on this legacy. And as I said, just, you know, optimize, modernize, bring in some new concepts, and really make sure that we are really focusing on community needs. And I think that with this acquisition, as you mentioned before, it's the fourth in line of our urban acquisition program. We have already bought in other world-class metropolitan cities such as London, San Francisco, and Toronto. And we strongly believe that this strategy is a success and will continue to be a success. We are building larger meeting places in countries such as China and India, where there's tremendous development and growth opportunity still, whereas we see in more established markets such as France and Paris, absolutely the benefit of being able to secure strong urban locations which are highly accessible by public transportation in order for us to support the communities around us. So we will be having a lot of exciting news going forward with this asset in France.
And obviously, Businessimo will be there to follow you on that path. In the meantime, thank you very much, Carolina Neider-Graf, for taking the time to speak with us today on BITV. Thank you all also for being with us. We'll see you soon on BITV.
Thank you so much. Bye.